Hey everyone, I'm KR, and this is my feline son Jared. Hey buddy. Look at that face. This entry is going to be on poverty. And this is a new journal I'm starting, and I haven't started it yet. I mean, I guess I am now. In this entry, I think I'm just going to talk about some instances where I realized that I was poor when I was younger. Because I don't think that's something you really think about when you're a child. You don't go, oh, I'm a poor person, or my family's so poor. You have other things to worry about when you're a kid, like where your sister put your blanket at or something. That was me. I hid my sister's blanket one time, and I forgot where I put it. This is the first instance I think I really realized that, oh, money's a thing that can be the problem. I was no older than 4. My mom was a single parent. She had 4 kids on her own at that time, and I'm 4th, the oldest, and my mom's in the kitchen, and this kitchen drawer is open. It's the bottom one, and she's just kind of like lying/sitting hunched over this drawer bawling, and it's filled with money. I'm assuming it's just like $1 bills, but when I was younger I was like, ooh, that's a lot of money. But she was crying over it, and I walk up to her and I'm like, can I have one? And she continues crying and just like picks up a $1 bill, just like so defeated, like it doesn't even matter anyway. And then I'm confused at the $1 bill, and then I just point up at the counter in the microwave. I'm like, no, I was talking about one of those. And I think I was talking about a Twinkie or something. And like that kind of just like stuck with me. Because my mom, a single parent of 4 toddlers, is crying over this door of money. It's really sad. Fast forward, I don't know, like a year and a half. I am 6 now. It was morning time, so we were having breakfast, and what we had for breakfast was what we had for dinner the night before. And I remember thinking like, oh, why are we having dinner for breakfast? Now I realize it was because we were poor, and that happened to different degrees when I was growing up. When I was in 4th grade, so I was 10, I remember having popcorn for breakfast. And I remember being like, well, this is weird, but I'm excited. But this is weird. And now I realize that it was because we didn't have anything else to eat, probably. So those are the few things I'm going to talk about. Clothes. Clothes were a big thing. So churches are really cool when it comes to, being helpful. So a lot of our clothes, especially growing up, came from like the basements of churches. We would like go and like, oh, shopping time, pick out what you want to take home. And sometimes they would just like give us like bags of clothes, and which is cool. And Salvation Army would get like vouchers for clothes, and to like shop there. Clothes were free because we were poor. And like that's awesome. But like the clothes were like older, obviously, and hand-me-downs, obviously, and stuff. And I just remember, like, I wasn't really, I don't know, when I was a kid, I didn't really care what I looked like. And I just remember this kid being really mean to me. I think I was in 3rd grade. And I don't know, kids, like, they pick on anything. But one of the things he was picking on was my clothes. And he was like, oh, those pants, they were like older people pants now, I think. You couldn't, sorry I'm saying I think a lot. I'm doing that because I'm uncomfortable. Bear with me. But it was just like the elastic pants. So no buttons or anything. Just pants that you slip on. They could have been pajamas. So he was like, where did you get those from? Goodwill? Did you get those pants from Goodwill? And I just remember just standing there being like kind of ashamed, and I didn't say anything because I didn't get them from Goodwill. I got them from a church place. And for me, I also, at that moment, I realized that Goodwill was like where we did a lot of school shopping, and Walmart and Goodwill a lot of the times. And school shopping was like this big thing for like most people. But for us, it was, I don't know, a little sad once I started growing up and getting older. Anyway, I just didn't say anything because I was so ashamed, and I realized that shopping at Goodwill is something to be ashamed of, I guess, which it isn't. And now I think the stigma isn't really there at all. I mean, yeah, thrift stores, like, recycled clothing and stuff, but then it wasn't what it is now. And that's sad. And it makes a lot of people think there's something to be ashamed about, and there's not. I didn't do anything as a little kid. My mom was, I don't know, we had clothes. Like, that's all that matters at that point. If people are bullying you guys for, if you can't, like, wear name brands, or maybe, like, you can't even afford new clothes, don't listen to them. At the end of the day, clothes don't make you who you are as a person. And if someone is bullying you for your clothes, something so external, well, honey, that says a lot more about them than it does about you. And just know that your worth isn't what's on the outside of you. It's your kindness. And they're not being very kind, so it doesn't matter what they're saying about you. Because, again, that's really just them showing you who they are inside. And that's what matters. To love yourself. It stems from the outside, inside out. So if you love yourself on the inside, what comes out is going to be love and kindness and joy, and that's what matters. It doesn't matter what you're wearing on your back or on your feet. Speaking of feet, see what I did there? The other thing I wanted to mention, the other memory, it's kind of a two-part memory. So I was in middle school, and for the first time that I can remember, I actually had new shoes, and we were able to buy them in a store, and they were $30, and they were from Walmart, and I was so proud of these shoes because they weren't hand-me-downs, and I picked them out in the store myself, and they were just, I don't know, blue and white shoes. They were from Walmart, and I was so proud, and I was like, I remember kind of like, I might have been bragging, I don't know, but I was so proud that I had new shoes, and I remember talking to, I think, a teacher or something, about, like, how these shoes were $30, and that was crazy, and, like, I got them new, and this other kid was like, well, that's not a lot at all. These shoes were, like, $90, and then he walked away, and I just remember being like, $90 for a pair of shoes? That kid is a liar. I just couldn't believe that a pair of shoes could ever be that much. And again, it was probably because when I was a kid, except for like a few moments, I didn't really listen to what people said about my clothes. I didn't really care about them that much. So my sister or someone else probably would have like already known that that's true, that people spend lots of money on clothes. But I didn't even see the difference that between my shoes and like his shoes, because I don't know, I really just care more about the insides, I guess, generally. But fast forward several years, I'm now a sophomore in high school, and I'm talking to this adult, and I'm like, oh, I like your shoes, and she was like, yeah, they're on sale for like $70, and I was like, oh my gosh. Ooh. And then I just kind of like connected the dots from when I was in middle school to now, and I was like, oh, that kid was probably telling the truth. He probably had shoes that were $90. And I was just like, whoa. And the world at that moment just kind of like shifted a little bit. Because I just blew off that kid. I was like, he's a liar. He's trying to like be cool or something. There's no way those shoes were $90. And here, this adult that I trusted and admired is like, yeah, I got these shoes for $70, like, it's no big deal. And I also realized, I guess, how underprivileged maybe that I was, because here she's, like, these shoes for $70 that are on sale, and we could, I don't know, I just kind of realized, I guess, poverty and, like, the social class and stuff, and how I couldn't even imagine that being true. but here it is, the cheapest option for some people. But you know what I mean? Like, the cheapest option that they could ever imagine for themselves. And the first time I could remember having new shoes was in middle school, and a 35 pair of shoes from Walmart. And I don't know. I don't know if I felt sad. I don't think I didn't feel sad. I would just, the perspective was just there in that moment, and it was really weird and different. And I realized I was without, I guess, or maybe I had been, and that's stupid. But that moment also made me, like, think about all the other moments that I kind of just, like, recounted. And I don't think it was, like, in that moment I was like, oh my gosh, it has been revealed. But, like, you know, gradually, like, during life and stuff. And, of course, like, there's other struggles and stuff, too, but I just wanted to, for this entry in the Poverty Journal, I just wanted to recount some moments where I was like, oh, poor is something that I am, that we are, my family as a unit, and just how that realization made me feel a little bit. I guess I didn't really get into that a lot. I don't know. It made me more self-conscious, of course, and that kind of made me happy that I was so in my own head and so internal that I didn't realize that before. Because honestly, it doesn't matter as much as we say it does as a society. It doesn't. It just makes me realize, like, if someone is watching this and didn't realize that, did I just blow their whole world wide open? I don't know. I'm sorry, but listen to this. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's such a superficial thing, and what matters is inside your heart. That's what matters. If you're a lovely, kind, amazing, unique, special individual, then that's what's going to help you soar. That's what's going to take you on your ride your whole entire life. It's your shoes, this shirt. I'm pointing to my feet and I didn't have shoes on. Just ruined the illusion. Good job. Anyway, your shirt, these are going to perish. They're going to be like in a junkyard sometime. They aren't going to matter in the long run. They're not you, so they're not going to be with you your whole entire life. What's going to be with you your whole life is you and your personality and who you are. I don't know, and how you feel about yourself, and that's always going to be changing and growing, and I want it to be able to change and grow and not be hindered by external things like what you look like. Because it's just not clothes now. It's people are so self-conscious about what they look like in general. What your nose looks like, what your teeth looks like, what your smile looks like, what your hair looks like, what your arms look like, any insecurities, you can change them and you can better them, but at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to matter is how you feel inside. I'm not talking about, like, surgically changing them. I'm talking about growing as a person. So last year, I was 315 pounds. And now I've lost 115 pounds. My teeth, I didn't brush them every day, and now I do, so they're not yellow. My skin, I didn't have good skin practices, but now it's a lot better because I wash it, and I put on medication for my zits when I get them, and I lotion, and so there's things that you can change, and my arms are really big because I was 300 pounds, but now I'm, like, changing everything, and I'm working out, so hopefully they aren't as flabby, because I am losing weight, and there's just things that you can do to help that, but it's not going to matter if you change it because of that. It's not going to matter if you change how you look on the outside just because you want to feel better on the inside. Because I know people say it all the time, and I know it might start sounding like cliche, but it really is the inside out. Because if you lose a bunch of weight, you're still going to hate yourself and how you look. You're still not going to look how you want to look, because surprise, it wasn't an external thing in the first place. It was how you felt about yourself. Hatred isn't an external thing. The things we hate, it really says something about who we are. If we hate someone's personality, if we hate something, it really does say more about who we are as a person. It's something that is, I don't want to say wrong, but for loss of a better word, wrong with how we view ourselves. And brushing your teeth every day to make them whiter, learning how to do your hair, losing weight, if you're just doing it to feel better about yourself and not because you already love yourself and you want to do it because you love yourself, then you're not going to love yourself, because you have to do it because you love yourself, not because you want to get to the point that you love yourself because you think if I look like this, then I will love myself. No, you have to do it because you already do love yourself. And poverty, how you love yourself. And I think that's a big thing too, because when I was younger and I didn't realize I was poor, it didn't bother me. I didn't care because I had food, even if it wasn't what was meant to have food. I had it, I had clothes, and it didn't bother me until I realized that, oh, wait, I'm without these other things, or I should be having these things instead. And that's when it affected my self-esteem. And that's really something, I think, because nothing really changed except how I felt about it inside. It was still the same things that were happening. I just felt bad about it because something inside me changed. And I'm glad it did, because if it hadn't, I wouldn't be like, it's the inside, and it is. And I just really hope anyone struggling with these things can realize that too. And I know it's not just going to change because I'm saying, you're lovely. You are lovely. I hope so. And if you're not, well, you can change that too. Be kind to one another and care about each other and treat others how you want to be treated. And all these cliche sayings that are so true. And that will really help you feel better inside too. And it's another cliche. And you will be a lovely person. So, yeah. I hope that if you are one of those people who bully people for being externally different, rather it's what they look like, what they wear, anything, I encourage you to take a look at yourself inside. Why are you making fun of someone? Why are you picking out that specific detail on someone else? Why does that matter to you? Why is it so important that you belittle this person, that you take the time out of your day and do it? Why? And I feel like if you do that, like seriously do that, you'll realize that it's not them. Because honestly, it's not important. Nothing matters that much about someone else, that's just their appearance, that just them being a person, that you have to stop and be like, wait, no. And bully them and make them feel bad about themselves. I almost guarantee that it's something internal. And just look at that. Take a look at yourself, inside of yourself, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it feels gross. And just, I don't know, maybe sit with that for a little bit. And learn to love the part of you that's insecure enough to make fun of someone else for it. Again, I'm not a doctor. But I feel like this is really helpful, and it's helped me as a person, and I'm pretty empathetic, and I I think about things to a pretty intense degree. So it might not work for you, it might not help you, this might just be me talking to you. But if it is just that, then I'm glad I got to talk to you, because you're a person and therefore you deserve being talked to, and I'm glad we got to take this time for me to talk to you, because again, it's a one-way, so you can't talk to me. But if you want to talk to me, then leave a comment down below. Oh, I'm just nailing these transitions today. Leave a comment down below, and if you like the video, and if you want to subscribe, then please like and subscribe. And this is so smooth. I'm gonna say goodbye. Oh, he was taking a nap. I was so inconsiderate. I'm sorry. I love you. Goodbye from J and K. Have a good day, guys. It's good to know you.